Yeah, I've decided to do this recording here in downtown Maison Alfort, Paris, on this July 25th for obvious reasons and for strategic reasons. I know amongst us, Cameroonians in particular, there are those of us who are feeble-minded and do not have the mental capabilities of facing, addressing, and trying to resolve very difficult and complex problems that face our society. In the 90s, in the heyday of the revolution, when we were very certain that we were going to change the political dynamics of our country, that is even before the SDF was launched, some of us of the Southern Cameroons or Anglophone persuasions believed strongly that the best way we could guarantee the future of Cameroon in its totality and to provide for democratic culture where we don't have a situation of dictatorship where everything about our laws and constitutions and whatever happens in our country or its destiny are placed solely in the hands of one individual, like is the case today with Paul Biya and Ahidjo before him. We believed very strongly that even though the 1961 agreement between Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon was not perfect, at least it provided some basic guidelines and guarantees and checks and balances that would have not occasioned what happened what happened in 1962 happened in 1965 and then happened in a very big way on 20th May 1972. I don't want to go down the criminality or the criminal acts of Paul Biya later on, whether it's 1984 or 1985. Now, from my understanding, I can tell you very clearly that these things were occasioned because of the division, apparent division that existed between the Northwest and the Southwest. Or we should say the Forefi and the Grafis. Our political leaders showed an opening and a vacuum that was greatly exploited by the Ahidjo and the French governments. Today, when we started in Cameroon Anglophone movement, which led to the All Anglophone Conference and further, we were determined to try to address and solve these problems. Today, I can tell you very clearly that those problems have gotten worse because of intellectual dishonesty, tribalistic instincts in people, and the pretense of us not wanting to face our own realities. Now, the Northwest and Southwest issue is making things apparently worse for us in Cameroon. And until we can have the integrity, the courage, and the honesty to accept it and address it, we would keep having these problems. They would even get worse. And eventually, if we are not very careful, the concept of even Anglophone would be so eroded that you would not look at Anglophoneness to be determined by any geographical territorial integrity like Southern Cameroons, because a lot of Francophones would become even better Anglophones in their education, by way of education and way of existence, than the regular Anglophones who hail from the Northwest or Southwest province. Now, let me address this situation by talking to Southwesterners. I am a Southwesterner who saw this problem, but I felt the best way of solving it was to embrace and try to sort things out with my brothers of the Northwest. A lot of you Southwesterners just decided to just complain about it and not to have anything to do with it. And that is where we weakened our own resolve to even do things that would help us. Southwesterners have complained so much about Northwest domination, the hawkish nature of the Northwesterners. And I argued that because I did not experience it growing up. And I told a lot of Southwesterners, especially those from Manu, I said the best way for us to move forward and for us to have anything significant was for us to be together, to present a united front as Southern Cameroonians in order not to let things get worse. I have worked since 1990, especially mainly a lot with Northwesterners, and it's regrettable for me to come here now and tell you that if Northwesterners don't become sensitive to this problem or the complaints of the Southwest, we better kiss Southern Cameroons goodbye, instead we pick up arms to force it on people. Northwesterners and many border Southwesterners, they are more dynamic, they are more vocal, they are more militant, and to tell you the truth, they have a way of grouping up in their own interests that can be very threatening to Southwesterners. My experiences interacting with the Northwesterners justifies the complaints of the Southwesterners. Yes, Northwesterners sometimes can be seen as being dishonest in their relationship with Southwesterners. I have been a victim of it, but I'm not going to accept to run away without addressing it, without talking, without looking for solution. I think the Northwesterners can get whatever they want in the Cameroon dispensation because they have the ability, they have the ways of agitating, and they play the political games very well. They can go ahead and get whatever they want without the Southwest. But if it comes to Southern Cameroons, if it comes to having an Anglophone unity, if the Northwesterners want really to have us restore anything about Anglophone integrity as we see it in the context of Southern Cameroons, then they will have to be very sensitive. They would have to search their souls and know that most of their actions come very threatening to Southwesterners. Southwesterners are more docile. They are not as militant as the Northwesterners. And the Northwesterners have the energy and the capability of doing things. But each time when it comes to relating their relationships with the Southwest, there is a point of integrity, honesty, and sensitivity that is lacking. They would have to give something to get something for all of us. They would have to pipe down their desires and aggressiveness when it comes to building a relationship with the Southwesterners. I am not saying that they should not go about being who they are, but if they really want Southern Cameroons, they would have to mellow down on some of these behaviors. And Southern Cameroon, Southwesterners cannot just sit down and all they do is complain and do nothing. We would have to meet each other somewhere. There is a sense of tribalistic unity when it comes to Southwest, something that does not, when it comes to the Northwesterners, something that does not exist with Southwest. And it's very easy for Northwesterners to be seen as a cohesive and strong and united unit, which cannot be the case with Southwesterners. So I say this, that all that is in the Northwest is good for the national politics. But if we want Southern Cameroonians, if we truly want to restore Southern Cameroons, which I believe that can be done very easily with a strong political collaboration and unity between the Northwest and the Southwest, if we really want to do that, then my appeal to the Northwesterners is that they should look deep in their own souls. Most of what we are suffering today was created by a Northwest administration under Foncha Muna, and we see that even occurring now, even though Frundi does not have that power, which he does to a certain extent. We see him practicing tribalistic politics like the Foncha and Muna did. So I take the risk to say this, but I say it in all honesty. I know there will be people, mainly from the Northwest, who would say that I'm fanning the flames, who would call me merchant of hate. But listen, my brothers, I love Northwest. I love the people of Northwest. I work with the people of Northwest. If you cannot get it from me, then we are doomed. If you think that I should relate with you or be part of you just because I should tell you what you want to hear, then you got me wrong. Then I'm the wrong person for that kind of relationship. Now is the time for us to face difficult tasks, difficult questions, difficult subjects, and face them, look them straight, and talk about them honestly, with a view to seeking solutions. So I'm appealing again to us, the Northwesterners and Southwesterners. The ostrich mentality of hiding our heads in the sand that there's no problem is a sham. It is time now for us to move to a new era. Let's solve the problems that would not put our children or generations after us in the kind of predicaments that we found ourselves. Now I am getting into my home. You see here, this is my rented holiday home in Paris, and my family is in there now. I just went out for a walk, and right now I'll go in. Let me switch this thing in a way that you won't see my face, but you would see probably the complex. Oh no, I'll do another video on that. Let me just shut this up, and I say please take time and reflect on the things that I'm saying here, okay?